and the world of oddities and eccentricities, as well as the dangers and challenges of the unknown in the Wild West, Seth Kinman was a leader in sharing his ideas and experiences to anyone who would listen. Mountain Man Seth Kinman killed more elk and grizzly than he could remember, used their pieces and parts to craft furniture, then gave said furnishings to U.S. presidents and other notable characters. By the golden age of the mountain man in the mid-19th century, there were perhaps only 3,000 living in the West. They came from various backgrounds, although they included many Anglo-Americans. A good number hailed from wilderness regions of Kentucky and Virginia and throughout the newly purchased Louisiana Territory, which occupied the entire central section of the continent. French Canadians traveled from the north to work in the fur trade, while Creole Europeans represented approximately 15% of the men known to be living in the isolated mountain life. Others were Métis, Spanish, Black, Indian, and mixed blood origins, most often Iroquois or Delaware. Most came to the West in their late adolescent years, the oldest learning the trade in their 30s. Many roamed the West for as long as their constitutions could hold up, under constant attacks on their health and personal safety. Some stayed too long and failed to survive the experience. Among the most famous, Jim Bridger arrived at the age of 16, while Edward Robinson was eventually killed in his 60s by what were known as the Bad Snakes, in reference to the Snake tribe in Idaho country. Jim Beckworth left the mountains at 68, and old Bill Williams died at age 62 when a band of Utes made him to come. Among the people who aimed to thrive in this deadly business, few became as famous or acclaimed as Seth Kinman. Kinman was a hunter, trapper, Indian fighter, pioneer, craftsman, musician, saloon and hotel proprietor, famous for his handcrafted elkhorn chairs and grizzly bear chair, all given to United States presidents James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, and Rutherford B. Hayes. Seth stood 6 feet tall and weighed about 200 pounds. He claimed to have killed 50 elk in a month, 240 in no less than a year, and 800 grizzly bears in his lifetime. Seth was born in Uniontown, Pennsylvania on September 29, 1815. His family moved to Illinois in 1830, where his father opened a mill, then fought in the Black Hawk War. Seth kept the mill running after his father died, but sold it in 1839 to try farming. He married Anna Marie Sharpless in 1840 and had 5 children. Seth gave up farming sometime after getting hitched and instead operated the Eagle Hotel in Pekin on the Illinois River. Seth left his family and rushed to California in 1849 to claim his fortune in gold. Finding little in the way of gold or success, he took gigs as a fiddle player before becoming a full-time market hunter in and around the Fort Humboldt area in Eureka. For this job, Seth used a rifle left to him by his father. The percussion conversion rifle was almost 4 feet in length and had a history that went much further back than Seth's father. Seth often turned the grizzlies and elk that he killed into chairs crafted of skulls, bones, antlers, and furs. He presented these chairs in person to such U.S. presidents as James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and Grover Cleveland. Buchanan liked his chair so much that he gave Seth a rifle and 2 pistols. Although Lincoln didn't offer gifts, he and Seth became friends. Seth honored his friend after his assassination, appearing in 2 of Lincoln's funeral corteges. A tendency towards the eccentric is evident in many of the famous frontiersmen. The dangerous and solitary nature of such a life calling appears to require that trait, and in the months of hardship between islands of human communication frequently creates it. Kinman, a notable early settler in the Humboldt County, California area, stands among the most diverse in this unorthodox frontier life. While most northern trappers were occupied almost solely with furnishing products to the European fur trade, Kinman, a more social person with eclectic skills, in his time as a hunter supporting the forts and sawmills of the isolated region of Humboldt County, he also served as an innkeeper, saloon owner, and a highly regarded musician. Most extraordinarily of all was his work as a craftsman. To the non-explorer, Kinman and his creations came to symbolize the grandeur and impetus of Western expansion, and such a status served as a perfect engine for the federal government's agenda and for the presidents whom seemed the West was increasingly a waiting issue. In his career, Kinman is believed to have personally killed over 800 grizzly bears and an untold number of elk. And what is now to be seen an environmental and social catastrophe, his prodigious accomplishments included the decimation of the national wildlife in his region and the wholesale abuse of the Native American Indian tribes in Northern California as an Indian fighter. Kinman met his demise early in 1888 as he accidentally shot himself below the knee of one leg. The limb was amputated and he died later on from complications. Seth was buried in his buckskin clothes. Well, thank you guys for checking out this video. And if you like this video and videos like this, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and share this video with your friends. And as always, remember, get out there and explore. Thanks, guys.